This week, we are collecting the Dagobah playset from 1981, and there is a ton of history on this. What was Dagobah? Why was Yoda there? And why was the name Emily mysteriously etched into the toy? Not once, but twice. Plus, we do a full review on this playset. So let's go. Welcome back to The Journey, and if you're new to my channel, I talk about, collect, and review vintage Star Wars. And in my last series, I collected the entire set of the Kenner figures made from 1977 to 1985. And in this series, I'm collecting all of the US playsets made by Kenner. So if this sounds like a journey that you'd like to join, please subscribe to my channel. And like I said, today we're collecting the Dagobah action playset. And I just don't tell you the history of the toy. Today, we're gonna dive in all the lore surrounding it, how to collect one of these in today's market prices, and also the big question: why was the name Emily molded into the plastic of this playset? In The Empire Strikes Back, while Luke is falling in and out of consciousness from the Wampa attack, Ben appears to him as a Force ghost and tells him to go to Dagobah to begin his training with Yoda, the Jedi Master, which Luke does. But when he arrives on the planet, he meets this 2-foot Muppet and gets angry. But the Muppet is Yoda, and Luke gets frustrated when his ship sinks and flabbergasted that Kermit can use his imagination to get his 5-ton X-Wing out of the swamps of sadness. So why did Yoda choose Dagobah to exile in after the events of Revenge of the Sith? Apart from being a remote, undeveloped, and out of the jurisdiction of the Empire, well, we are gonna have to go to the Star Wars extended universe for that. And the reason that Yoda can live on Dagobah undetected by Palpatine, Vader, and the Inquisitors was that Dagobah had a high natural energy in the Force and could hide Yoda's midichlorian signature should any Force user try and use the Force as a locating beacon.
What are midichlorians?
But we are here to talk about toys. So what makes this toy so special? Well, it's from very iconic scenes in 2 Star Wars movies. First, The Empire Strikes Back, where Luke goes into Yoda's hut, and another scene where R2 is forced to navigate his way through the deep swamp, where Luke trains by levitating objects and while balancing Yoda. And then finally, when Luke fights Vader in the cave. In The Return of the Jedi, it's also the place where Yoda fades away into the Force. Yes, all this in a playset that's only 14 inches wide and 7.5 inches tall.
What a creepy swamp!
It's Kenner's Dagobah action playset. You have to put it together. Action figures each sold separately.
The Dagobah action playset was first released in 1981 by Kenner for the Empire Strikes Back run of toys. And beyond the features of the playset, as mentioned earlier, collectors who are completionists and variant collectors will have a good time with this playset, especially when it comes to the box art. This playset was only issued in a 2-year span, 1981 and 1982, all Empire Strikes Back logos, but had a whopping 5 different variant features. Number 1, in 1981, simple line art with the black and white logo on the reverse. Number 2, 1981, the first reissue, this time with a more detailed version of the line art and a more prominent red Empire Strikes Back logo. Number 3, in 1982, they went back to the simple line art and the black and white logo, but now on the box were 2 stickers, one that announced a rebate offer and another that promoted the free Jedi training backpack, which was just an accessory borrowed from the survival kit mail-away pack. Number 4, then again in 1982, they went back to the more detailed line art, the red Empire Strikes Back logo, and then applied the rebate and the backpack stickers to this box. Number 5, then finally the last issue of the playset featured a different photo on the box altogether. Before, the picture had Luke fighting Vader behind the hut, and now Luke is wearing the backpack carrying Yoda. And inside the foam swamp pit of the first release photo was the solid dome R2-D2, but now in the final release of the box art, it has R2-D2 with his new sensor scope variation. And in this photo features the brown snake Yoda, as the other boxes featured the orange snake variant. And if you're enjoying the content so far, please hit the like button. That does support the channel. And also, please consider subscribing. And please visit thepadawancollector.com, where you can see blogs, bonus material, and you can visit the Collector Depot for accessories that you may need for your collection. When it debuted in 1981, it retailed for $10.99, which in today's prices with inflation would be $35.38, which, considering all the features, is not a bad price. But I was always confused confused as to why this never came with a Yoda or an offer for a free Yoda. My guess is that Yoda would be such a hot action figure that kids would be asking for Yoda, so no need to include one just to sell this when parents would likely buy both just to complete the set. But who is Emily? Well, I wanted to see this famous Emily mark for myself. So when I bought mine, that was pretty much the first thing that I looked for. And I bought mine from a place that I don't usually buy from, Instagram. And I follow various people and shops who buy and deal with vintage toys. And somebody knew that I was on the lookout for a Dagobah playset. And they had one in the parameters that I wanted, in a box, and it had to be complete. So they sent me a few pics. Now, I did have to do my due diligence and research this seller online. And I also had to ask a few collecting friends if they've heard of this person, and they all did. And they all gave positive reviews or experiences. So I took the listing seriously after I got that person vouched. And the seller sent me some really detailed pics, and even some more pics that I asked for in greater detail. And that is one way to make sure that you don't get scammed. So don't be afraid to ask for even more detailed pics than the ones that are posted. And don't be afraid to even ask the seller to write your initials down on a piece of paper or even your name right next to the object. Why? So you can protect yourself from sellers who are trying to pull a scam on you. Sometimes sellers will post items that they don't have in their possession, items that they or somebody else have already sold, or items that they have never had and are just trying to pull a fast one. Yeah, people do this. And it's sad. So if you want to buy something from somebody who you don't know or your collecting friends don't know, and you want to buy the item like really, really bad, tread very lightly and be skeptical until they prove you otherwise. But back to getting my playset. It came in fine in a very nicely protected box. And it was super light. Probably the lightest playset that I've ever handled on this run. It was like feather light. But the box was in great shape, and looking over the box itself, I have the original first issue release with the messy line art and the black and white logo on the reverse, and the original photo with the 1977 Solid Dome R2-D2 and no rebate offers or backpack offers on the box. The top of the box also has line art, and the bottom shows the playset features in action as well as the proof of purchase and the UPC codes. The box itself is standard heavy ply cardboard with printed paper stock of the color print glued to the sides. And looking inside the box, we have the original cardboard insert, the original instruction sheet, and the Empire Strikes Back mini catalog. I love these things, and I used to flip through them all the time when I was a kid. But what's amazing about this piece is that this comes with the silver cargo trunks that are often missing. And even a bigger rarity is that this piece has the original foam. This foam on most sets today is either missing, ripped, or partially missing, or so badly deteriorated that it's turned to dust. The best way to keep your foam fresh and intact for decades to come is to keep the temperature of your collection room moderate, meaning no colder than 60 degrees and no warmer than 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Basically room temperature for a human, not a wampa, and definitely not a bantha. But back to Emily. Who is Emily? Well, I had to go all the way to Nashville to the ICCC convention. It's there that I met Ashley Eckstein, C-3PO himself, the Emperor, and so many cool collectors that I have either been fans of, bought from, and some that watched the show. But we also got to speak to some of the fine folks who were working at Kenner during the heydays of the Star Wars line. One of them was Stephen Geddes, a toy sculptor for Kenner. Stephen told me stories of how they placed him on creatures or toys that had a monstrous or evil feel to them, so he was placed on the Dagobah playset. And in one of the mold designs, he had carved the name Emily in two places. One was on the lizard in the swamp mold, and the other is on the snake by the lever. Emily is the name of Stephen's daughter, who was about 5 years old at the time. By the time the mold went into production, the chief designers and product marketing team didn't know about the name in the mold, so even if they did, it was too late to stop the process, and the name was so abstracted that it went unnoticed for years by anyone outside of the Kenner offices. Steve is the same designer who also did the Tauntaun, and if you look on the tail, he did the very same thing by putting his name, although that one is very hard to see. Now, putting this playset together, let's actually use the instructions like if we were a kid back in 1981. Now, this doesn't go over the parts of what's here, so let's go over that first to make sure that this playset is complete. One action lever labeled A, one action lever labeled B, two action stands, one levitation lever base, one action figure levitation lever ring, one levitation branch, two levitating cargo boxes, one levitating adapter cap for R2-D2, the swamp base with foam, Yoda's hut. First, place the swamp base on a stable, flat surface. Insert the action lever A through the slot in the base. Snap the action stand on this lever, and you need to hold it pretty sturdy to have it snap in place. Do the same thing with the levitation lever B in the other slot and place the action stand on. Now for the levitation lever. Bend the ends of the lever up and lock into place. Place the levitation lever device on the underside of the swamp base and lock into place by pressing the lever over the locking tab. Most of the time, when you buy these, sellers will already have these items in place for you. For the action figure levitation lever, insert the ring end of the lever through the slots in the hollow stump. Place the branch on the end cap of the lever that extends through the slot. To use the feature, press an action figure into the ring and move the action figure with the branch lever. Place the cargo boxes on the post, and to levitate them, press the lever. To levitate R2, place the adapter over the post and press the lever to levitate him. And you can also place R2 or any action figures that fit into the foam swamp. Since this foam is 40 plus years old, I'm not gonna do that with mine. You can feature the playset like this, or you can add Yoda's hut. And to do that, line up the tabs on the base of the hut with the notches on the swamp base and press those tabs into the slots. You can use the action levers to simulate Luke's and Vader's fight, and you can use the action figure lever to recreate the training scene. Or you can have Luke and Yoda eat Jedi stew inside the hut. So how much is this playset to get in today's prices? According to the Star Wars Tracker, which get eBay and auction site information and puts that into one view, for the first release of the 1981 playset in box and complete, prices are at lows of $200 to highs of $375. And you can find some near complete loose examples on eBay for fair prices, but most of the time the foam will be missing. So if you see that and it's the only item that's missing, try to bargain the price down a bit if you can, as you will rarely see the original foam being sold on its own. So let's mark off this playset that we got from Instagram from Toys We Remember, and they also have a YouTube channel if you want to check that out. And we got this for $300, and that's including shipping. And I just ordered the case from Ian's Display Accessories for $66. To help me keep creating content like this, please become a YouTube channel member. With membership starting as low as 99 cents a month. You'll get early access to videos before the public does, members-only live streams, extra entries into all giveaways, and special member shoutouts. Just hit the join button below the screen, and welcome to the Academy. The playset that I got is in immaculate condition, and with the foam, cardboard inserts, catalog, and all working parts, this is the exact condition that I was hoping for. I really didn't want this to come in a mint and sealed box or in sealed baggies, as I really wanted to set this up and enjoy it. I'm gonna have to be careful with the foam, and like I said earlier, I won't be placing the figures inside the foam, as the foam is hard to find in these playsets today. It's not rare, it's just hard to find a good complete version like this. And you have to be on the lookout for sellers who are gonna replace the foam with a reproduction model. And one of the ways to tell if it's original, on close-ups of the foam, it should be graying just a little bit. So to make sure, just ask the seller about this and make sure they disclose if it's the original foam or reproduction foam. If the seller doesn't know, just ask for detailed photos and circulate these photos in your own collection groups or in discussion threads like on rebelscum.com or on trusted vintage Facebook sites like the Imperial Commissary. I mean, you could also ask on the Padawan Academy. But this is one of the greatest playsets from Kenner. I just think it has so much play value, and especially that it comes from really specific scenes in the movie. And that's how I gauge if a playset is essential or not. I think this one is an essential playset because of all of those features. And I think if you're a vintage collector, This is one that you should have on your radar in whatever variant you want to collect. So let me know what you think of what I got today. Do you think I got it for a good price? And if you have one as well. And if you're on the hunt for one, you know exactly what to look out for. So let me know all this down there in the comments. And we are celebrating 25,000 subscribers on this channel and 32,000 followers on Instagram. So to say thank you for everyone who has watched this channel, channel member Joe R has given us these items to give away. So 7 lucky viewers are gonna have a chance to win all of these items, and yes, they are all authentic. 2 Black Palace blasters, 1 TIE Fighter blaster, 1 blue Leia blaster, 1 blue-black Leia blaster, 1 black A-Wing Endor blaster, and a beautiful Near Mint Plus Obi-Wan Kenobi action figure with a great looking cape and saber tip. And here are the rules. Just type #win in the comments. And to qualify to enter, you must be a subscriber. You must be following my Instagram page, and you have to like this video. That's the rules. And you have until February 10th to enter. And YouTube channel members get extra entries. So if you want more chances, become a YouTube channel member today. So good luck, and thank you all for being subscribers and followers on Instagram. And thank you for enjoying the content and being on this journey with me. So if you found this video interesting, please hit that like button. That does support the channel. And please consider subscribing if you want to see more Star Wars, vintage, and collecting content from me. And hit that notification bell so you know when episodes go live. I post videos every Sunday with bonus content throughout the week. And as always, my friends, thank you, and I will see you next time. Good luck, everyone. If you're new to the channel, check out the welcome video, or just check out the next episode. And please subscribe if you want to follow the journey. And remember, there is no shame in being a Padawan.